This week on our CJ-7, we're gearing up to fix all of the interior rust that has accumulated on this near 50-year-old Jeep. And it's bad. The front floor pans are nearly rotted out all the way through in some spots. The rear cargo area, it's shot. And then the wheel tubs where the roll bar was resting, pretty much completely all rotted out. Everything needs replaced. We need to get a plan together. Let's check it out. First things first, I want to be upfront with you guys on my goal with this repair. Now, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be showroom restoration quality. Reason being, the whole tub itself isn't really as great as it may look. There's been patchwork done. You can see some cracks here from Bondo. It is starting to rust a little bit. And if we were going that route of restoration, we'd honestly just want to start with a fresh tub. So I only recently got the CJ. My dad's had it for like the last 15 years though, and he had a lot of body work done for that reason. And it's just starting to fail. It's been many years, which is fine. It was a quick fix at the time just to get it looking good and painted, but a lot of rust and cracks on the tub. Really, my goal with the floor is just structural integrity, somewhere good for the seats to bolt down and for the roll bar to bolt down. Because as you can see, there's not much of a spot for the roll bar anymore. You maybe got one bolt right there on this side, one questionable bolt. That one would probably hold, and then nothing up front. So in the event of a rollover, that would suck. And then we want a secure spot for the seats to mount. This is a seat mount. There's one. And this is all rotted, needs replaced. Now, all that being said, luckily there is some good metal left on this CJ tub. Like the transmission tunnel is almost completely still solid, which is gonna be good because we're gonna need some kind of solid base somewhere to start welding. And not only is it the transmission tunnel, but like the front floor where it meets the firewall is still pretty solid. We're gonna find all the solid spots on the tub. We're gonna go underneath, see if the cross members are still solid. Need to drop the fuel tank as well. A, fire hazard, and B, to get access to the rear cargo floor up underneath. Real quick, I wanna throw the hood on just to kind of protect the engine bay from welding sparks, grinding sparks. Fenders are gonna stay off though, just in case I need to get to the firewall. Temporary gauges out of the way. Upsie daisy. Flip these hinges back. Can't see. Cool. Next, I want to get the Jeep moved over to where we're actually going to be welding and doing all this work, which is this bay right here. And we'll do that now since we want to drop the fuel tank. We're about to make the sparks fly. Like driving the old Peterbilt. Okay, I didn't know that. Get that easy enough. Oh yeah. There it went. Got a little bit of access right here. See if I can get to them. What are those lines? Huh. Fuel tank is out of the way. I threw a couple of the bolts into the fuel lines here to keep them sealed. I'm gonna get a light under here and we'll check out these cross members and see what kind of shape the floor is looking like from underneath here. Starting here at the rearmost part of the Jeep, you can see this cross member and it actually looks like it's been patched before. So that'd be a little bit hard to replace, but if you look directly in front of that, the entire floor pan right there is really solid. We might have to use that as our line. There's a rusted out hole, so everything in front of that should be replaced. It's actually in a lot better shape underneath than I thought it would be. We might just end up having to patch some of the smaller holes, like that one right there. And the one I showed you earlier, not too bad. So it's a little bit harder to see. So I'll give you a little bit better look at this when we go up top, but where the cargo floor transitions into the front floor pan, there's this piece that comes down. They call it the waterfall piece. There are holes at the bottom, so that needs replaced. But the metal itself actually seems pretty good on the floor. Now there are some obvious problems like that hole right there. Honestly, this floor is looking a lot more solid than I thought it would. So that's good. Now we're directly under where the seats would bolt. That's actually a seat bolt right there and right there. Threaded into the cross member, which, by the way, those cross members are pretty solid on both sides. So like I said, the tunnel I think is going to be fine, plenty solid. And even the floor is pretty solid here, which is really interesting because on the top it just looks so bad. Just in front of us here is the firewall. So this is pretty much everything what I showed you. But a lot of our problems are more out towards the edge on the outside of these frame rails, like that spot. That C channel right there is welded in extra for support. That is not factory. Probably because that's where a cross member is supposed to be. That'll be interesting getting that to be solid. Where the body mount cross member piece right there just kind of welded in place. Everything outside of the frame rails is pretty bad. I think we'll be able to make something work. Let's check out the driver's side. Big hole, pretty rough. There might be some good metal under there yet. And same deal, piece of C channel welded up. Here's a better look at that waterfall panel, and that's just a straight hole to the outside world. Same thing over there. Obviously the wheel tubs need to get cut out, and I don't think there's any good metal left on there, so we're gonna have to go straight to the side. But we will have good metal on the bottom. So really the only spots I'm concerned about finding good metal are right here along the sill where it meets the body, because there is a lot of rot under here. I'm gonna get the grinder on here, see what that metal looks like underneath. We might be able to work with that. Actually doesn't look too bad. Up here in the corner, found a lot of Bondo, and that panel's not even touching the outside. So I think we will have to go up in a little more than I was anticipating, but that should be pretty solid up there. Then I went ahead and I hit this whole edge with the flap disc just to kind of see what was what. There's actually a good bit of solid metal here. I think we'll be all right to do some plug welds on that. Now here you can see a little bit more pitting, and even here it's rotted all the way through, but honestly for what we're doing, I think that's gonna be a good enough base to kind of just cut right here, cover it up, and then weld it. And really these two edges right here are really all we have to worry about as far as good metal that's actually still on the Jeep. The wheel tub, the cargo floor, I think those are gonna be all right. I'm gonna switch over to the passenger side, do this exact thing, kind of just see what's what. Holy Bondo. Found a lot of Bondo at first, but might not be all that bad. There is some metal left. Even if we had to, I wouldn't be opposed to just laying the new panel on here and then just kind of laying a bead right in here, as long as this outside metal is okay. On the passenger side here, it's actually a lot cleaner going up to the firewall. That's all usable right there. Good solid metal. And then right here in this corner is where it starts to get bad. And it's pretty bad right here, but along here, really decent metal still left. A lot of Bondo in this corner right here, so I think I'm gonna have to get a little belt sander and try and get in there a little bit more, see what's hiding. This whole corner kind of looks like a previous patchwork, but I wouldn't be opposed to just leaving it if the metal's solid, because the corner looks okay. A couple holes that we can easily fill, but like I said, we're just trying to get it solid. But that gives us a pretty good starting point. Now, once all the sheet metal is actually here, I think we'll get a lot better idea once we can lay it out and kind of mock everything up. Now, I didn't order anything yet because I kind of wanted to see what I wanted to get, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that I'm going to get every available floor piece that they have. So the cargo floor, the wheel tubs, and then the whole floor pan area. Which brings me to my disclaimer. This is my first bodywork welding kind of project like this. So I don't know what I'm talking about at all. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. I've welded before, can't say I'm great at it, but between me, John, and Evan, we make a decent welder, I'd say. Speaking of which, the machine I'll be using for this project is this Harbor Freight titanium MiG 140, and got all the accessories, got the gas ready to go. I did buy it specifically for this project, but I've already used it like on a few different projects. Really comes in handy, highly recommend. So now I need to go order some metal, and when it gets here, I'll catch back up with you guys. I ended up going with all this key part stuff from Quadratech. It's Mopar officially licensed, which I didn't realize till it showed up. And we got quite a few pieces in here. Get this unloaded, see what we got. All right, got it all laid out here. 8 pieces in total, 4 front floor pans, then the waterfall, the cargo floor, and then the 2 wheel tubs. It's all pretty much how I expected it to be, except for this cargo floor, because underneath of it, it has all the cross members built into it with threads already in there and all that. Looks like we're doing the whole thing. I was going back and forth here for a little bit, trying to figure out where I'm gonna start. Thinking the front floor pans first, and then kind of work my way back here. But definitely open to suggestions. Let me know what you guys think. I was looking at the wheel tubs a little bit too, just based on where it's routed out here. It actually looks like it'll be pretty straightforward getting them tubs in there. Well, there's the floor, and then the tub goes beside the floor, it looks like. Oh, one of them threaded holes is for a body mount. That'll actually help us align it for sure. Now that I feel like I have somewhat of an idea what we're gonna be getting into, and the parts are now here, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. Next time, we'll be cutting out all this rust, hopefully successfully installing these floor pans. Let me know what you guys think, but that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.